Alright, guys. So, like usual, the poll that I put up the other night, Silent Night, Deadly Night, won that pretty well. Like, by like a few votes. Thing is, the first one is like not streaming anywhere. So, I'm just gonna download it. So, that's like a whole another thing that I didn't feel like doing today, was doing that. So, and with just the part 4 through 6 of Nightmare, like I just can't throw on Freddy like tonight. I just can't. Like even though it's like one of my favorites in the franchise, New Nightmare, I just said, all right, I can't. I just can't look at Freddy. Like no matter how good he looks and in what great a movie that he's in. So I'm just going with Demons and Demons 2 by Lamberto Bava because I'm just in the mood for Bava, like Lamberto, which he has a distinct style from his father, like for sure. And these movies were presented by Dario Argento. They were, I think he wrote like 1/3 of the screenplay, like him, Bava, and Sacchetti, if I remember correctly. So that all three of them worked on the screenplay for this, and for the next one, I'm pretty sure it's the same three who worked on the screenplay for two. So Demons from 1985 or Demoni, give me Demoni. That's stupid. Alright, so yeah, we're gonna dive into Demons because I fucking love these movies. Like, who doesn't love Lamberto Bava's Demons and Demons 2? And then I'll have The Church, which is basically Demons 3. Maybe tonight, if not tomorrow. But let's jump into Demons from 1985. And yeah, that's right. Not a Christmas movie, but the Christmas hat yet still appears. So from now until Christmas, you don't know what video I'm wearing in it. And I figured out how making it so it doesn't make your head hot. Put it on top of a regular hat. Then it works. Doesn't make your head get really hot like the mall Santa Clauses. So for anyone who hasn't seen Demons for any reason or isn't into like Italian horror, go watch Demons. Like it's on Shudder right now. So is the second one. They're just some of the best balls to the wall demon movies. Like Night of the Demons is another popular one, but honestly, like knowing Demons and Demons 2 exists, just that alone makes me not care for Night of the Demons that much. It's not that good of a movie anyway. Like in my opinion, I never really cared for Night of the Demons or the second. There's a sequel, right? I haven't seen that in forever. Couldn't be that great because I don't remember anything about it. But when it comes to demon movies, like not just like demonic possession, like Exorcist and all the movies I've been doing this month, basically, these are different demons. These are just like almost like zombie demons. They or just like the best way I can describe it, I guess, is like Deadites from the Evil Dead. Like it's that type of demon. Like not like one that's like in the spirit realm and is trying to possess shit. Like it's kind of like that, but it's not. Like if you haven't seen the movies, it's hard to explain. If not, just watch Demons, and you will not be disappointed because the gore effects are amazing in this. Argento was involved, and this is Lamberto Bava. So there's no downside to checking these movies out if you haven't yet. Now, another thing I really enjoy about this movie and the second one. Most of what I say for this one is going to apply to the second one, but because I do love them pretty much equally. I do think this one gets a slight edge for me, but I love the music in this. The score is great. I forget who does it. Claudio something with an S. Like he worked with Argento a lot. Like forget his name, but his score in this is great, and you can feel Argento's influence, like especially from like his '80s movies, like especially like Phenomena, like that had all the metal soundtrack, like Iron Maiden stuff like that. You get this in this movie too. We get Motley Crue, we get Billy Idol, White Wedding later, and an awesome scene, which that music is perfect for this scene that it plays in this movie. But I'm going to blanket this like I do with most of my Mario Bava videos and just say that Lamberto Bava's directing is just amazing throughout all of this. Like I said, he has kind of like little parts of his father's style, but different enough. I'll be honest, I'm not as versed with Lamberto Bava as I am with Mario Bava. I know Lamberto. I mean, he's been working as his father's assistant since like Planet of the Vampires, pretty much. So he's always been helping his father. So it makes complete sense that he would adopt a lot of his styles and stuff. But he still has like a style to his own, like that. You watch a Lamberto Bava movie and then watch a Mario Bava movie. They're very different, even though they can be similar in some ways. And I think Argento's influence here also was a big reason for having those metal tunes in here, because he was into that in the mid 80s to late 80s. And there's one other thing I was going to say, I can't remember right now. Yeah, that's right. When it comes to Lamberto Bava, these two movies, A Blade in the Dark, and maybe, I know on Mario Bava's last movie, Shock, Lamberto did direct like a decent amount of it, or at least a portion to a decent amount of it. And maybe like two other movies by Lamberto. That's really all I know like from him. Like I never deep dove into Lamberto Bava. So these are my favorite Lamberto Bava films. But I haven't seen all his movies. So I can't say that they're the best or anything like that, but they're my favorite, like by far. And this first one just gets the slight edge. But yeah, the score is amazing in this. The sound design is amazing in this, and I'm just gonna blanket all of that with the directing, because if not, I'll keep mentioning it. And there's enough just with the practical effects alone in this movie, and awesome scenes to be talking about. Now, Argento's daughter, one of his daughters, not Asia, Fiore, is one of the two main chicks here, right? Like I'm pretty damn sure. Like not the main chick, but like her friend. And if you think I remember the names to these Italian films, like I do when it comes to like Argento and like some Fulci and Bava, but for the most part, I never remember these people's names unless they say it. So if they say their names, I'll mention it. I'm pretty sure one's name is Cheryl and one's name is Kathy, of the main group here, like the two girls. But again, if anyone hasn't seen these movies yet, I really want to push like you to go watch these movies. Like if you're not an Italian horror fan, this is like I think a great like two set of movies, Demons and Demons 2, to kind of like dip your foot into Italian horror. Like it's not like that big of a gap in style from like American horror. It's not like jumping like from never seeing Italian horror to seeing like a deep cut Fulci or Mario Bava movie or Lenzi or anything like that. Like it's a nice mid 80s feel to it, and it's just about these group of people who go to see a movie about a horror movie, and they slowly start getting turned into demons and just start killing each other. Not each other, but like killing people, and whoever they scratch or bite, then that one turns into a demon. And it's just so masterfully done. It's such a great time. There's so many practical effects that look amazing to this day. Like look so good. And this redhead is gorgeous too. Like I'm not sure. She looks familiar. She might be in some other Italian horror stuff that I've seen, or she just looks like some other actress. But goddamn. But please go watch Demons and Demons 2 if you haven't seen them. I'm pretty sure they're also on Tubi if you don't have Shudder. But now I'm just gonna like dive into like the movie and stuff. So if you haven't seen it, get out of here, go see it. Now, we've seen this premise before in horror movies. I'm not sure when the first one happened, like I say all the time with these ideas for unique movies, but still probably has happened before, is that we get to see a movie theater watching a movie, and the events kind of mirror each other as they go on, which I absolutely love about this movie. And I'm like 99.9% sure the movie that they're watching was just made for this movie. It was directed by Bava. Like, you can tell. So unless this is some other movie, like Italian horror film or something that they're showing, like I said, 99.999% sure they directed the movie within the movie just for this movie. Because it just looks like Bava, like Lamberto. So I'm pretty sure that's what they did. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. But I just love that whole premise. It kind of reminds me of Popcorn, which I didn't see until recently, like a year ago, maybe from 1991, I want to say, or 92. Popcorn, that takes place in a movie theater and like shit goes wrong and stuff. So we've seen it a few times. I don't know when the first one was, but I absolutely love the setting in this movie. Like having this all take place inside a theater while watching a horror movie about demons while a demon outbreak happens in the theater. Like it's such a clever idea. Like it's so great, and the way that they handle it is amazing. Like it's not what you expect the first time you go in to see this movie. It's not like when people think demons nowadays. That's what I was saying earlier. Is people think like The Conjuring and Insidious and stuff like a ethereal demon that's trying to take possession over like one person or a few people. This is just like kind of like zombie, like zombie demons. Because if you get scratched by them at all or anything like that, bit by them, scratched by them, then you start turning into a demon. So I love just the type of demons they are in this. Like I love this movie to death. It works so well. So we see Tony, I'm pretty sure his name, the pimp, with his two girls, and we see the one. Why can't I remember her name? Because it's an Italian movie, and I'm stupid. That's why. Because the main girl with the dreadlocks and stuff, she tries on the silver mask that just like is hanging in the middle of like before you walk into the theater. It's just like put on a statue, just out in the open. So I don't know how it got there, if anyone knew what this did or anything like that. They never explain any of it. It doesn't need an explanation, which is perfect just how it is. So there's just this antique demonic like mask, and that's what possesses you. If you put the mask on and you take it off like she does, it leaves a cut on you, which then 15 minutes later, so you start turning into one of these demons. And it gets mirrored in the movie that they're watching also, and it's so much fun to watch. Like to watch their reactions at certain parts of the movie, like when we're getting more like information and story from the movie, within the movie that they're watching. Yeah, this is going to get confusing because there's two movies. But just seeing like more react and stuff, and like seeing like some of the girls like really get scared and like hold the guy next to him and stuff like that, which you never see anymore in a movie theater. Like when do you ever see people like get this scared, like from a horror movie? I don't. Like I don't really see anyone get like this. There's people that just there's nothing going on screen and they're just like terrified. So I don't know, but I love this guy who just keeps turning around and like telling people to shut up just for saying like one thing and like not even saying it loud or anything. Like it establishes these characters a little bit that like even if you can't remember their names like I have an issue with, you still know like the whole group and stuff. You're like, oh yeah, we got the blind girl and his daughter, and then we got the pair of main friends, the girls, then the two guys with them, and then like they do a good job of that, of like just establishing little, I guess, little quirks that these characters have that makes you constantly like looking around at everybody. So they do a good job with that. Like it's a good way of not being able to do really any character development with so many characters, like a movie theater full. Like obviously they don't focus on every single one, but it's a decent big cast here, like of supporting actors and everything. So just the fact that they can give you like just one or two things to remember each of them by, I think they handle it very well. All right, now I know that Cheryl and, like I said, I want to say Kathy, pretty sure. Both of them, I know that Cheryl got the invitation to the theater here, like randomly, by that guy who was wearing this like one half mask that kind of looks like the demonic mask that transforms people in this, but doesn't. Like it's made out of the same material. And he looks creepy as shit. So like she asked for the second ticket and stuff to like go here with a friend. And this girl didn't find out until they were inside the theater and it started that it's a horror movie. Like I never understood that. Like when it starts and things start getting a little spooky, like not really even, she's like, "Oh, a horror movie, I should have known," or something like that. It's like, how do you not know what type of movie you're going to? I mean, maybe that was the thing, but I would always want to know what movie I'm going to see. Like, I'm not just walking into a theater and just paying the money for a ticket and fucking refreshments and popcorn and all of that, and then just walk in and be like, oh man, a romance. Like, it's just not gonna happen. So I don't know why she's so surprised it's a horror movie. Like, it's such a small thing, but I mean, come on, this is me here. Like, I just can't help not notice it every time I watch this movie. Like, why, why? Like, why did it take so long for her to realize, oh shit, we're watching a horror movie? So in the movie that they're watching, it's pretty much the same events, but they're like looking for the tomb of Nostradamus, who was a prophet who didn't do jack shit, but they're saying, prophesies like all crazy things happening, like Hitler and World War II and so many other things, like a whole bunch of like 9/11 and like all that stuff that he supposedly predicted from way back then, whenever the hell he's from. So they're looking for his grave in the movie that they're watching. But then they find the demonic mask thing, and one of the guys puts it on, and it cuts his face. And then the girl notices, one of the pimps girls notices that it same, notice she got the same cut, and now it's starting to bleed again. And I love this when she goes to the bathroom and tries, looking at her cheek and stuff like that, and then just the effects that we get coming up are just, oh, such great scenes with such great effects. Man, so that scene with, I want to say Rosemary for some reason, the black chick with the dreads, the first one who turns. Why I want to say Rosemary, I'm hoping it's because her name's Rosemary. But if not, for some reason I'm thinking Rosemary. So one exists in this movie. But I'm pretty sure that's her name. But when she goes into the bathroom and stuff, and then the cut from the mask, just the pus that explodes out, and then just the way that she starts like screaming, and she starts like vaguely starting to transform, and then they shoot back to the movie that they're watching, and then we get some really cool gore, like with the stabbings and stuff, and seeing like the couple, the younger couple with the guy with the scarf and the girl that are making out like the whole movie and everything, like their reactions and everything. Like it's so well done, like the way that they cut between what's going on in the theater to the movie and back, like to mirror the events. So masterfully done. Her name's Rosemary. And I swear to you, you guys know it's always no bullshit here. Like I did not see her name. Like when I said that like a minute ago, I said Rosemary for some reason sounds familiar. So that's her name. So then the other girl goes checking on her, and just again we just get an absolutely amazing scene here, like with the practical effect. That first time we see a demon's face for the first time, when Rosemary just turns around at the friend and she just spits the green shit out of her mouth, and like she just looks all demonic and everything, and then she chases her out and she scratches her on the throat. So good. Like the demon design in this movie is fucking phenomenal. Like I love how the demons look in this. That's another reason why I don't know why I'm comparing it to Night. All right, thank you. Night of the Demons. I don't know why I keep comparing it to that. Maybe just because it's very similar. That's probably why. But just this is where it's at when it comes to that like type of premise. Like I just again that movie's just never really been a good movie in my eyes. I know people who love that movie. It's definitely a classic. But this is the movie I would watch if I want to see like that type of demonic movie, just with demons like raising hell all over the place. This movie, like just the effects alone, make this so much better. And that it's Bava, that it's Lamberto Bava, like that too, and then Argento being involved, and you can see shades of both Argento, which makes sense, being an influence on Lamberto, and his father Mario Bava with the lighting in this movie, with the colors, use of colors, and like the way that certain scenes are lit. Like when we see Rosemary going down the hallway, it's like lit red, just to really hammer that evil like feel in. But then like you get a shot of the woman that she's chasing, her friend, and there's just like blue lights and stuff in the area that she's in. Like it's so amazingly done, just like anything Mario Bava did with his lighting and Argento with his, like just as good. Like it looked so good in this. And then we have the blind guy who's here watching a movie, like, which I know that Bava has said that was like a joke, just having him there, but then having his daughter like basically almost fucking this guy, like nowhere near the seats and stuff like that. So like he gets separated from her and then she dies later, but so funny. All right, the next 5 minutes or so, just that, excellent. Like when the friend, the other hooker, I'm assuming they're hookers, right? Because he is referred to as the pimp, like the black dude. So I'm pretty sure Rosemary and her friend here are prostitutes. They never really come out and say it, but it's pretty heavily implied. So whatever her name is, the second one, when her neck is like bursting with the green shit and just like starting to like just tear away, and on the movie you just see the killer that's like stabbing through a tent a bunch of times, and she's hitting on the screen, and like somebody mentions that they hear her scream like it sounded too real, and one of the guys is just like, oh, that's just like the Dolby system and stuff. Like, stupid people. And just the whole way that shot, edited, everything with the music playing, is so good. Like, and then finally when she cuts through the screen, right when the killer with the knife again goes to like cut through the sleeping bag, and just she falls out, it's so good. Like it's such a great scene, and then leads to just another amazing scene. So like the next like 5 minutes alone are just so good. And then Rosemary, like when the rest of the theater, like the movie stops, and they're looking at the prostitute on the stage, and we see Rosemary take the rope, like that goes through the walls and stuff, like to hang on to walk by, and just strangles the two people that are making out, and like just pulls their faces together, like almost like Brian Yuzna's Society, like. If you've seen that, like the party scene at the end, and they're just like start bleeding and shit, and like they're like both getting double choked out, like so good. All right, we gotta take this slow, like just the whole transformation scene for the other prostitute is so it's so effective. Like it looks so damn good. Like it really does. Like with her, the fingernails, just the long claws coming and splitting the fingernails in half as they come out. And I have a thing with fingernails in movies. For some reason, this one doesn't bother me. There's a very select few movies that this has nothing to do with the movie, but the fingernails start coming out, and just the green shit coming out of her mouth, and like the like I don't even know what to call them. They look like the capillaries in her face burst or something like that, and like. And then we get it obviously it's 80s effects. It looks, it's just a dummy head, but it's like the same way with like Fulci's City of the Living Dead and Gates of Hell, like the vomit scene in the car, like it's obviously a dummy at certain shots, but it just looks so good. It doesn't matter. When just her tongue comes out, and then like it gets really long, it's like a cone shape, and like it pushes out of her face, and then it comes back in, like that all looks so cool. Like the practical effects are amazing in this movie, like so good. And you can see like some Mario Bava influence on his son here, like during this scene, like especially like when she takes her claw and like scratches the stage. Just the way that it's zoomed in on like that looks like Mario, like instantly looks just like a Mario Bava shot. So like you see, like I said, you see influences, from his father in Lamberto's stuff. But again, I don't know his filmography that well, besides like 5 movies or so, to really know like his directing like in and out. So, but makes me just wanna definitely check out those movies that I have not seen of Lamberto's, because that'll definitely be interesting. But what a great transformation scene. Yeah, and you thought I was done talking about that scene? Get the hell out of here. When the teeth start getting pushed out and the claw, like the fangs start coming in, looks amazing. Like, that looks so good. Like, all of it. All the practical effects in this movie, as I'll keep saying, look amazing in this. And then, like, when she hops up and she just rips into the guy's neck and just, like, the skin's tearing, and it looks so goddamn good. But just that teeth scene, it's so unnerving. Like, I have a thing with teeth too, a little bit, like with stuff like that. And just seeing their teeth like being pushed out by a fang growing in, and their teeth are just falling out of the way, like slowly. Like, oh, it's so effective. It's so amazing. It looks so good. This is just gonna be like practical effect after practical effect. It's like that's how this movie is, man. Like, it's like a showcase here. But then when Rosemary goes and attacks the blind guy and just like claws his face like into his eyes, and then we get the eye gouging out of his head and stuff. It looks amazing. Like, I'm not gonna be able to stop praising the effects. Like, it's one of the highlights of this movie. And then the metal music kicks on, and everyone's trying to get out of this theater, and everybody's freaking out because they can't get out. They're like ripping the padding off the doors because they can't open the doors to get out. It's like just all hell is broken loose, and it feels that way. And you feel like you're in the theater with them. Like, it's this is such a fun goddamn movie. Like, it really is. Rosemary Demon with the woman when she grabs her head, her scalp, and just like rips her scalp out, like right off her head. Like, oh man, it's just such a treat to watch like practical effects on full display like this. Like, this is not like the reason, but one of a million reasons that The Thing is my favorite movie of all time, because of the state of the art practical effects that are still the best in the movie to this day, in my opinion. But God, man, so good. Like, the effects look amazing in this. They looked good in Demons 2 also, but I don't know, there's some parts, like some effects in the second movie that are better almost, and then there's other ones that don't look as good and look a little more cheap. It's hard to describe. Like, we'll talk about that when I do Demons 2. But God, I love all this. And then we get the pimp dude, forget his name again, but he's in the second movie also, and he plays a different character. But it's great to see him in the second movie because he's like one of the best characters in this movie. And just the way that he starts seeing that it's about it's something to do with the movie. And Argento's daughter says, like, I know it has to do with the movie. Like, everything that's happening is exactly what happened in the movie that we're watching. But the movie has nothing to do with it, right? It's just the mask that Rosemary put on in the beginning, and that's what infected her with demonitis, right? Like, that, it has nothing to do with the movie. It's just, isn't that just like a nice little coincidence? I don't think it has anything to do with the movie. Unless I'm forgetting like something that happens later on, but I've seen these movies a decent amount of times, so I don't think it's the movie. It's just them kind of like freaking out that they saw the movie about demons and that they just happened to have that artifact there that turned Rosemary and then the rest of them into demons. Let me know your theories on that, because I could be wrong, but that's how I always looked at it. Then we just have the random scene. I mean, it plays into the rest of the movie, but when we first see the four cokeheads for the first time, and they're driving and stuff, and they have a Coca-Cola bottle filled with cocaine with a curvy straw going into it, and the guy's driving, and he's just sniffing it and sniffing it again, and then he hands it off to the other person. Then they spill it in a little bit, and he says, like, pick it up, like, and it's not even all of it. Like, it's like maybe 20% of what's in that can that comes out of it that spills. And he says, pick it up, every last gram. Every last gram? So that means there's like, there's a shit ton of Coke in that Coca-Cola can. And they should be dead. Because just like taking one or two sniffs out of that amount, it's going to be enough to pretty much at least kill one of them. That's a lot of cocaine. And two, why even have it in a Coca-Cola can? Like, is that a disguise? Like, is that like a neat little hiding place? Because the first thing a police officer, if they pulled you over to search you, wouldn't do is pick up a soda can, feel that it's not, it doesn't jiggle and shit. Like, it feels like it's packed with powder. Then they'll just pour it out and find a whole bunch of cocaine. Like that seems like such a stupid like hiding spot that they use, and just the hiding spot, the way they're using it, everything about that scene is hilarious. Like in so many ways. I love when they're getting ready to throw the blind guy's daughter off the balcony, and the one guy like rejects like the pimp like his command to like help him throw her over, and he's like, no, she's dead already, and he's like, you ain't worth shit, and just pushes him away, and then gets the next guy to help him. I love his character so much. And I love how the pimp just like takes over and becomes a pimp. Like he's just like commanding everybody when they get back into the theater, like start taking all the seats, and like we need to barricade the way in so they can't get to us and stuff. And then he just like leans his ass on the banister, like that's it. Like he doesn't doing nothing until like one of the demons breaks in. He's doing nothing the entire time. It's so funny. Yeah, and because he's a lazy sack of shit and took over and just gave commands out, that's why he gets jumped by the other demon, and then he gets bitten and then falls off the off of that stage, like off of that level, and like lands on the dude who got hung by Rosemary at the very beginning, like, and they're like three of them are just like this dead body in the middle, and then just the demon and the pimp. Like, it's so funny. Like, this is just such a fun movie. Like, that's the best way to describe this movie. Just like a fun movie to watch that is just a feast for the eyes with the practical effects and like how awesome the demons look. The whole scene when it cuts back to the four cokeheads in the car, the punk people, and Billy Idol's White Wedding comes on. What a great scene to have that song in. Like, it's just the perfect place. This song fits so well with this scene. And then that's when they stop and they spill the coke and stuff. And then he says, pick up every last gram, which who knows if that was a translation issue and stuff with the dosage and stuff. Because that makes no sense. Like, they would be sniffing way too much coke, like I said. But, and then them, like, picking it up. And then the guy in the back seat, like, he starts with the razor blade, starts, like, taking it, like, off the girl's nipple. Like, and was, like, scraping her nipple with the razor blade, like, very lightly. And it's turning her on a bit. But, like, at the same time, she's, like, kind of pissed. Like, it's such a crazy scene, but like it works for some reason. Like, it fits. Like, it has nothing to do with demons at that point, but it just works, like, for this movie for some reason. I'll compare it to this, like, just the scene here with Billy Idol on and him just like scraping her tit like to try to get coke off it, and that whole weird shit right there. It fits this movie so much better than from New York Ripper with that foot masturbation under the table scene. That's just fucking Fulci at his craziest, like at his sleaziest. Like, that just could have never been in the movie, and it would have been fine. This, I feel like, would have missed something without that little scene. So you could look at it that way. That's how I feel about this scene being in this movie. And then just the nice, like, few shots we get, like, throughout the theater, and we get the red lighting, the blue lighting, and red again. Like, again, the color usage and the lighting in this movie is just excellently done. Like, just like his father, just like with Argento. Like, so good. Now I was kind of just thinking out loud, like, to myself, and saying, like, this is my favorite Lamberto film, but Blade in the Dark is probably, I think, his best film of what I've seen. Like I said earlier, like, I have not seen all his movies, but from the 5 or so, 6 that I've seen, 5 or 6 maybe, I think A Blade in the Dark is his best film. Like, I wouldn't call Demons or Demons 2 masterpieces or anything like that. They're amazingly awesome films. Like, they are shot extremely well. They're just a riot and so much fun to watch. The practical effects are amazing, but I wouldn't call them masterpieces or like anywhere near like perfect films like I would with like Mario Bava's Kill Baby Kill and Lisa and the Devil and Twitch of the Death Nerve, like and Black Sunday and Black Sabbath. Like, those are just all masterpieces. Like, I'm not saying that like Lamberto didn't have his but I would, for me, A Blade in the Dark would probably be its closest to a masterpiece. Unless, like, I just completely missed an excellent Bava film, Lamberto Bava film, that I just haven't seen over the years. But I would say that's his best, even though this is my favorite of his. Like, I don't know. I was thinking out loud, and I was like, yeah, that's, I guess, something to talk about, right? Merry Christmas. And here's a perfect, like, reason for why I feel that way. Like, that this movie isn't a masterpiece. It's like a 9 out of 10 for me. Like, and there's a lot of 9 out of 10 movies for me. But I always say there's only like two handfuls, like 10 at the most, like perfect films that I consider perfect and I think are absolute masterpieces. So there's a big gap between that 9 out of 10 and 10 out of 10. Like, for me, there is a huge gap there. Like, you can have a movie like this that I have not really any negatives of. But right here, when they're climbing through the air vents and stuff like that, and the pacing slows down a bit. It doesn't hurt the movie at all for me. But it's like, if I'm talking about when I did Mario Bava's Kill Baby Kill and talked about that movie over an hour, because I'm going through every single scene. Because every scene is just perfection in that movie. Like, you can't say that for this. Like, I can't be looking at this whole downtime here and being like, oh yeah, but look at like this and then, like, it's just not as masterfully done. Like, I guess is the only like real way to say what I'm trying to say. It's like, it's just not on that master level. It is for 90% of the movie, but it just doesn't hit that perfectness. That just, like, it feels like every single thing that happens in this movie is perfectly done and was done on purpose and was supposed to be there. Every shot is meant to be there. Nothing is wasted. Like I keep saying, Kill Baby Kill and Lisa and the Devil and Halloween and The Thing and Suspiria, and I can go with like 3 or 4 more Argento movies just there, like with Deep Red and Opera. This just doesn't reach that level, but it's still a solid 9 out of 10 movie. So, but this whole downtime here is what would take, I'd say, a lot of people out of it, because it's a good 15 minutes or so with nothing crazy happening. Like after all the carnage we've seen so far, like it just goes 15 minutes or so with none of that. We just see people crawling around air vents and running around. Very nice with the lighting as usual, but it's not to that point that it's like you're praising the lighting and the color usage and stuff like you would with a Mario Bava movie or an Argento film. Just not the same, like, at all. This guy is so stupid. He hears banging on the theater and stuff that they all hear, and he's like, oh, we've been rescued, like, help is here. And they all start moving everything out of the way, and then it's not help. Like, come on, man. Like, this guy is such an idiot. Like, he should have been killed first. Because it's just the whole horde of demons now. And this guy thought it was going to be help. And just awesome, like, how they all look. Like, when I love how they have their eyes, like, glow, like, in the dark before they, like, really get into the theater. And then we see the pimp demon come up from the floor and start attacking somebody. Like, so much fun, this movie. And then, like, from here on, like, it's fine again. It just has that little dip for like 10-15 minutes or so. Yeah, but that whole scene, like, just the massacre in the theater, like when they take out like a decent amount of the remaining people here, so good. Like, just all the kills, like, they look, or not even kills, I guess, transformation to happens. Screw you. Yeah, you know what I mean. They're gonna transform, whatever, bites, scratches, everything looks so good. And then I hate that I have to see my beautiful redhead one get killed. Like, I don't like that. I get very upset. But my version of this movie, like when they start entering the theater and like annihilating everybody, the cokehead ones, I would have just had like a group of demons like come up on them, and then all 4 of their fucking hearts just exploding out of their chests, because Do you see the amount of coke they were doing? Did I mention that earlier? Pretty sure I did. You see actual demons ripping people apart and like right in front of you. Add that fright and that flight and response and the adrenaline and stuff. Your heart would just explode. Like I would. That's what I would do. Though great practical effects. Just have each one's heart just burst out of their chest. JT's version of demons. Okay, someone's gonna have to answer this. Like maybe Lorne if he checks this out, because I know he's big on Italian horror. The scene where Kathy gets beaten by it, just the two girls and the two guys, but Kathy's a fucking demon, and the guy takes like the grill like for like to cover the air vent and just beats her like over the back of her head like a few times, and then her back like starts expanding and stuff, and then the like real demon, like devil looking demon thing comes out of it. It looks really good. I don't know if it's just this transfer that's on Amazon right now, that's on Shudder. Something looked off to me. Like it looked like there was some type of animation there. Like I don't know if it was like if they used like a little bit of stop motion or like very early CGI. I don't know. Like it looked very strange for like a second or two. And then when it was fully popped out, then it all was practical and stuff. But maybe it's just this transfer because I've never noticed that. And I don't think he was using CGI in this movie. I know they do in Demons 2. Like for the TV scene when the demon comes out of the TV. Pretty sure that was like early CGI, right? But I don't know. That was weird, that shot. So let me know if anyone knows that. Like if they used anything to touch up that scene, like beyond the practical effects. And I forgot all about this. But this movie just subconsciously, subliminally pretty much, but I noticed it. Threw it in my face to remind me that I still have to do Argento's Four Flies on Grey Velvet. Because they have the poster for Four Flies on Grey Velvet by Argento in the theater here. And they just showed it again. And I said, oh, fuck you, movie. Like, like I know I still have that one to do from August. I remember. So I'm going to get that one done first week of January. Is going to be like leftovers from the holidays. Or leftovers from 2022. And whatever few Halloweens I didn't finish or all that stuff, I'll finish them up that week. So that's one of them that I got to do is Four Flies still. So I did not forget. Thank you, demons, for reminding me, but I did not forget. And then just the entire scene of George and the main chick riding on the motorcycle all throughout the theater, and he has the fucking sword in his hand, and he's just slicing and dicing the demons while the metal music is playing and stuff. And it sounds like Motorhead. I'm never a Motorhead fan, but it sounds like Motorhead, or just a band that was like very close to Motorhead, because it sounds just like their style of music. So, but that whole scene is just hilarious. It's fun. It's badass. It's just a fucking blast, man. Like, how do you not love this movie? And then he kills a few of the last remaining ones. And then my beautiful redhead one, he stabs her in the chest and then, like, shakes her back and forth. So he titty fucks her to death. And my redhead's gone. This shit ain't fair. What type of Christmas present is that for me? And then the helicopter that just crashes through the roof, and the both pilots are dead. And then I like when he turns the the propeller on, and we get like a nice little zombie. It's reminding me of fucking Romero, but we get a nice little demon like face slice off with the propeller blade. Like awesome, like all the effects in this movie, as I've kept praising, like so far. Just amazing all around throughout this whole movie. And then George and Cheryl almost get away, and dun dun dun, the guy from the very beginning of the movie who gave out the information for this movie to Cheryl, he appears to the two of them, and he almost kills George he shoves him down a hole, and he's holding on for dear life from a pipe, and he's like he's all demonic and shit, and then they turn the tables on him, and it looks so good. And like the lighting and use of color and stuff throughout that whole sequence, phenomenal. It looks so good. Just the reds and the yellows and the blues, like just the use of the color and lighting throughout that whole sequence when they're killing him looks so good. Like, absolutely beautiful. While we see the demon's eye, whereas the half mask on his side is, his eye gets pushed down onto the spike, and then we just see it slowly go into his face, and just the gore looks so good. Like, it really does. Like, that whole sequence is such a great sequence right there. And then just the metal music playing. Like, this movie just gets you pumped, man. Like, it really does. Like, it's such just a it's a blast. Like, that's no other better way I can explain this movie to somebody who's never seen it. Is that it's just an absolute blast to watch, like in every single way. And just while they're running away, and like there's the shots of like the demons and their eyes are glowing green again, like with the flames and stuff as they're chasing them, like all of it looks so good until they like run into the other few survivors there in the jeep. Like, awesome. Like, it's such a great movie. I love that too. Like when they get picked up, and then the older guys, two kids, just like are dead ass accurate, like with shooting weapons and stuff, and they take out like two demons, and then like they just like look at them like there's weapons back there if you want to join in. Like, these people have seen some shit already, and then we just hope that there's somewhere that they can start a new life. What an amazing movie! Like, so much fun. Anytime I rewatch this, which isn't too often, unfortunately. Like, I definitely have to watch this movie more often because it's a blast every single time I watch it. And just the practical effects are amazing. The lighting and use of color, just like his father and Argento, like, looks amazing. Like, likable characters with the smallest time possible to make you care about these characters and like distinguish them from one another just with like one or two like traits of them, and so you know who you're looking at like most of the time. Excellently done. It's just such a fun movie, and I don't know if I'm going to watch Demons 2 right now, but I might take a nap if anything, but then I will watch Demons 2 because I can't watch one without the other. Like, I have to watch Demons, and then the next movie I watch must be Demons 2. So I'll probably like schedule this video to like, I don't know, upload at like 11 midnight, something like that. But wherever you guys are from, hope you're having a good morning or night, and I will see you in Demons 2 in a few hours probably. All right, take care.